in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix. In the mix.
What up? What up?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Yeah. We excited. We hype another episode of Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne.
Episode 19.
With our special guests in the building. We are excited
Episode
tonight.
19.
Let's get to it.
We want to welcome everybody to the show.
Yes.
Shout out to our Instagram family. Shout out to our Facebook family. I'm on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're excited to be in the building.
Yes,
Episode
we
19.
are.
So, this is dope. I love it. Right, Dwayne?
Yeah, this is phenomenal right now.
Nice
I'm extremely humbled. I'm grateful.
Huh? That's not the lights not on.
I could hear her.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I didn't turn it off because I know how to use the mic.
Hey.
Pause. All right, so here we go.
We got our special guest in the building today.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can
We're
I
gonna
get-
introduce them.
Can I get
Three.
one more round of applause for our special guest crew? Yeah.
We're gonna
Awesome.
introduce them. They're gonna have some time to connect with you guys. So we're just gonna get into our regular
Yeah,
rundown.
let's get to it.
So the book. As you know, our podcast, everyone, if you have a book in your hand, please hold up this book for us.
Yeah.
Meet the Authentic You.
The book.
Our podcast is based around our book. Please purchase it. Meeting the Authentic You, Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne.
Yeah.
Listen, this book will change your life. It will help you find your authenticity.
Yeah.
Okay, and love who you are. Where can they
Praise the
purchase
Lord.
the book, Dwayne?
You can purchase this book on Amazon. We back the live action with Amazon, but I prefer Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
But any online book retail store, you can order a copy of our book. Once again, it's Meeting the Authentic You, Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne. This book right here is actually blessed and touched and transformed the lives of so many people who actually decided to give us a chance and give us a read. Whitney and I have shared some of the most transparent, hopeless, darkest, painfulest moments that we have experienced thus far in life inside of this particular book. So we want to encourage you guys to get a copy of this book, and not only get it for yourself, but get it for your child, get it for the young
Definitely.
adult,
Your whole
get it for
family.
there it is.
There we
Yeah,
go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Don't
Give
gotta
her a
get the
high
whole
five. Don't leave her like
family.
that. There we
All
go.
right.
There we go. And this is, and I'm glad you just said that, because this is exactly the reason why we have our special guest inside of the
Yes.
building, because we're gonna be having some conversations tonight about how the book impacted them, touched them, transformed them, so much so that we had to bring them in the studio tonight.
We had to do
We
it.
had to bring them in the studio. So make sure you get a copy of our book. Go online, get a copy of our book, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Get your copy,
Outskirts,
have a
wherever
conversation with us,
books
and then
are sold.
don't just get it and read it and do the exercise. We want you to call in and talk to us and tell us which inspiration inside of the book did it for you.
And
That's
also
what we want to
write
do.
a review. We need reviews on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So please take the time out to write a review. That will help us out. But we also really want to know what you think. Buy the book for a friend. It's a good gift.
Make it sell out.
Yes. I love it. Buy the book for a friend and family member. Vibe with me, Dwayne. Let them know what's going on with the Vibe with me. Do you guys know anything about with the Vibe with me movement?
No.
Well, Dwayne is going to let y'all know.
Well, let me tell y'all something real quickly.
Yeah.
The Vibe With
For
Me
sure.
movement right now is
Oh, yeah,
it's just continuously spreading. It's continuously going around. As I continue to say, over the last about maybe 7 or 8 weeks ever since we introduced, maybe about 8 or 9 weeks ago, we introduced what we've been doing, or rather what I've been doing with the Vibe With Me movement, with the apparel, with my morning videos. People around the world, once again, are tuned in. Shout out to all my people. I got to give them a shout out. I mean, it's all over the world, but I like to give out shout outs to my people in different parts of the world, in different countries. So shout out to my people in London, my people in Holland, my people in Malaysia. Shout out to my people in the island. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico been vibing with me a whole lot these last couple of weeks. So shout out to them. And of course, shout out to everybody that's in the States, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Baltimore, Philly, New York,
all over the world.
Cali, Chi-Town, all over, you know, just in Texas, Houston, just different parts of the country and the world have been tuning into my videos every morning. So the Vibe With Me movement and army is spreading. So thank you all for purchasing apparel, purchasing hats and T-shirts, and vibing with me every morning. Thank you so much. That's what's going on with the Vibe With Me movement. I need your support, because all of that support funds what we're doing now tonight, and it actually help us have a moment like tonight where we got special guests in the building helping them see something and experience something they've never experienced before. So thank you so much for supporting the Vibe With Me movement.
This is what it's about.
So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's go. We behind the schedule. Tell me about the Go Get It conference that's coming up November 3rd.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
Women's Empowerment Conference. This is my 3rd year with the conference. The theme is Celebrate You. We have transformational speakers. It's at the Radisson Hotel, November 3rd, 2018.
Let's go.
Please, we need you to come out. I want this to be a sold-out event. I'm already speaking it because the tickets are going fast. If you're interested in being a vendor, please contact me at I am Whitney D. Smith on my Instagram. Also, you can check me out on Facebook, Whitney Smith. Look, get your vendors. You need to get your spots. They're going fast. Transformational speakers. I'm glad that Dwayne is going to be in the building. I'm talking about the.
Let me do it.
Okay.
Please, let me do it. Real quickly, here we go.
Here we go.
You do not want to miss this Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference. I will be in the building. I know other speakers or transformative speakers will be there, but I guarantee you and I reassure you that the segment that I'm covering, right, the dangers of disconnection, you do not want to miss. The dangers of disconnection, I will be covering that. Make sure you get your ticket, whether it's the early bird special for $75 or the $100 ticket. Make sure you get your ticket, because D.Graham will be in the building.
Be in the building. Yes.
Before it sells out.
And D. Graham, please tell them your social media handle real quick.
Okay, my social media handle once again on Instagram is D.Graham. Graham, the number 3. That is my Instagram information. Contact me, follow me. If you want personal counseling, phone conversations, I will provide that service to you as well. Facebook, Mr. Graham is God's Child. You can meet me on both, preferably Instagram, because that's where most of my traffic is. I love me some Instagram. Thank you so much, Instagram, for the business, for the opportunities, for the platform, for the growth of what's going on with Go Get It, and what's going on with Vibe With Me, and what's going on with this podcast show.
Let's do it.
Let's go with
Monday Morning Glory. We have a prayer conference call. If you do not know about it, shout out to our Monday morning crew.
Our 35 to 45 people calling every Monday.
They're calling every single Monday, and this is where we get a chance to connect with you spiritually. We're praying, we're encouraging everyone, and you guys are encouraging us. So thank you to our Monday morning crew who call in every Monday morning from 7 to 7:15. 15 minutes of your time. We start the week off with prayer, although we pray every single day. But start it with a crew like us. Join us, all right? Every Monday morning. All right? Call-in number. We want you guys to call in tonight. 914-969-6499. Edith, tell them the other number for me.
718-705-4959.
Yes, call in tonight. Call in. The number's on the screen. Check us out on the Inthemixx.com. Also Instagram and Facebook. We're going live. All right. Spirit check. This is where we check our spirit to see how we're.
What's the vibe? What's the temperature? What's the energy? What's going on with?
My spirit is, like you said, like a month ago, is on heaven.
Ooh.
Okay. My spirit is on heaven. It's high because the opportunity to be able to share this platform tonight with my students. This is bringing. I'm not gonna cry. This is bringing joy. This is bringing joy to me because it's allowing them to experience something different, and so we can have this conversation. So I'm so excited. I'm on heaven.
That's dope. That's dope. That's super dope.
And I want to say,
what's up with your spirit? What's the temperature?
Well, actually, if you don't mind, I want to go last. I want to check their check their spirit.
All right.
My spirit.
Edith, how your spirit
What's
is
your
tonight?
spirit?
My spirit.
We do one word,
One word.
with a short little, story behind it.
Yeah,
Why
real
is your
short.
spirit in the condition that it's in? Tell us.
I want to say my spirit is determined.
Determined.
Okay.
Okay.
Determined for better everything. Just better everything.
Okay.
Better, yes.
I love
All
it.
right.
I love it.
Destiny.
Let's go, Destiny.
Your spirit check.
My spirit track is just I'm thinking. I don't know yet.
All right. You want us to come back to you?
Yes.
All right. Think about it.
Okay. Can I say my spirit is exciting?
Excited?
Yes.
Excited.
Exciting.
For what's happening now and what's gonna happen in the future.
Okay.
that.
I love it. Okay.
Speaking future.
That's my best friend.
All right.
Okay.
Destiny,
okay.
back to you.
You ain't got none yet? You ain't got
Hurry
none
up.
yet? Okay,
All
that's
right,
fine. That's
hurry up
fine.
and press you.
Okay. My spirit is ready to receive.
I like that.
It's ready to receive. I know that this month right here, the month of August is going to be one of the most profound
Yes.
months of my life.
That's my birthday month.
That's my birthday month as well.
What day?
August 25th.
That's my birthday.
Look at God. Look at God.
Birthday twin.
Look at God. Give me some. Give me some.
Birthday
Give me some. Give me some more. Give me some more. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Oh my God, that's my birthday.
There we go. Give me some, Cruz. Give me some. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we
My
go.
mom's birthday is the 25th too.
Give me some more. Hey, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
So we're not gonna notice the fact that Angelique's is.
Yeah,
not
my birthday's in
August
March.
25th.
Yeah. My birthday's not
My
August
birthday on the
25th.
June.
I'm sorry that you guys' birthday is not in August. I'm sorry. I'm
You're
sorry.
not with the
Your
game.
birthday's
Gemini is still the best.
Virgo's
You-
all the way.
Your
No,
birthdays
no,
are still
always
dope,
the best.
but we're in August right
We
now.
talking about
So
August.
let us have our moment.
August
But-
25th.
So you're
But
saying?
so I believe that this month is going to be one of the most profound months of my life because I've been faithful. I've been faithful. I've been consistent. I've been serving. I've endured. I've asked for forgiveness when I messed up. I got back up when I fell. So I know that the God that I serve is going to honor my
I like that.
my show up. I'm not going to use a church word. I was going to say
What's
obedience.
the church word?
I was going to say that, right? Not that I haven't been, right? But I'm going to say my show up.
We talking about show up.
He's going to honor my show up. So this month, the
y'all
month of
doing show
August, I'll be 40 whole years old.
You old.
And
Anyway.
I'm looking
All
forward.
right. You old, but you don't look old.
Praise the Lord. Come on, give me some. Give me
Get it,
some. Give me some. There we go. Hey, glory to God. There we go. So I'm excited about what August is going to release into my life and for the lives of those who are connected to me. So that's the state of my spirit. Let's get into the show now. Let's go.
Dope. That's dope.
Let's go.
That's dope. I'm just trying to fix it. I just want to shout out our Instagram followers
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody who is tuning in with us, checking us out. Also on Inthemixradio.com as well as Facebook. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for being with us for the 19th week.
Oh man.
This is dope.
Yo, wait. Can we just pause on that real quick?
Just pause.
Yeah, we got 19 weeks of coming in here and having conversations that's been inspiring and impacting probably more people than we know.
Can we get some applause for that?
Right. Like, please.
So
Yeah.
with like that's so phenomenal, and it's humbling, to commit ourselves rather to this work. And now on our 19th episode, we bring the generation after us into what it is that God has us doing, right? So even though we may not be, and not to minimize it, because I'm not doing that at all, right? But in this country, we live in a very competitive and comparative country where we tend to measure how well we're doing based off of someone else's success.
Based off of followers.
And we tend to minimize, right?
Right.
The work that we do because it's not in lights. It's not 5 million people
Right.
tuned into
Yeah.
us
Not
every
on
Thursday,
major,
right?
We ain't on Netflix.
But
and all that
but you know what? Tonight we got 3 phenomenal, amazing, young black queens.
Oh, please stop it.
Right? you know, and I mean that, right? I mean that, right? Because I think that what we need to do more of especially in our communities, right? In the communities of minorities, right? Blacks, Hispanics, Dominicans, those who are not a part of that 1%, who are actually, just doing what they want to do and getting away with it, right?
Yeah.
We have to spend more time affirming one another.
Yes,
We have to spend more time affirming one another and encouraging one another to embrace the identities that God created us to be. So that way the work doesn't become discouraging and difficult to do when we're affirming one another. So I never want us and these 3 women, these 3 young ladies who will grow into phenomenal women, to ever feel discouraged to walk into the purpose that they were created for.
Right. And you guys are connected to some purposeful people right here. You got
Yeah,
a purposeful
yeah.
teacher and a purposeful friend, a big brother over there. So
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
you're never
I'm
going.
Yeah,
You're not
Very.
falling by nobody's wayside. Not on my watch.
yeah,
Of course.
Not on his watch.
yeah.
And with that being said, let's get into the tonight's
Yeah.
topic.
Yes.
Spicy.
Yeah.
So tonight's topic is
spice.
conversations with our youth.
Yeah.
So we can hear your voice, so we can understand each other. We're kind of bridging the gap, right? And before we get into the conversation, we're going to give you a chance. We want the audience to know who you are.
Yeah.
So who wants to start?
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Destiny.
Take that lead, girl.
The queen. The queen.
Yeah, there we go.
The
Come
queen,
on.
the queen.
Come
I
on,
guess you
August
can
25th. Come on, birthday twin. Come on.
Okay, so my name is Destiny. I'm a future 8th grader. I go to Bronx Prep Middle School, and I have a wonderful teacher. Her name is Miss Smith.
Oh,
Wait, who's that?
That's you.
Come on, stay focused. Stay focused. Come on, stay focused.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
go.
We got to stay focused.
We got work to do. We got people to help. We got people to serve. Let's go.
So yeah, my birthday is August 25th. My birthday twin, Dwayne, is right there.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to get inspired. I want to inspire other people
There you go.
about this book. You need to get it, okay?
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who's next?
Who want to go? Edith
right.
or what? Come on.
Oh,
Go. No,
Okay.
go ahead. You go last. Edith. Go.
Okay. My name is Angelise.
Come on.
I'm 14 and I'm an future 8th grader, you may say. I love being with family. I love supporting family too, as she's my cousin, unfortunately. I'm joking. I'm a loving little girl, and yeah. Oh, I go to Bronx Prep, by the way.
Hey,
With
shout out to
This
Bronx
woman
Prep.
here.
These humans.
okay.
Go ahead.
So I,
Next.
so I guess they saved the best for last.
Yikes. Oh, Lord.
So, my name is Edith. I'm a future 8th grader. I'm 14 years old, and I finally have the teen after my number, as you can see, 14. Don't hate. Okay.
Wait,
Um,
you had a 13 though.
No, you're a teenager when you're 14. Teen, see that? Teen after?
Alright.
Okay.
Next.
Next.
Oh, and I'm very family oriented. Like, I love my family, and I'm a future dancer.
Yes, girl.
Future dancer,
Wait.
future choreographer,
Yes.
and all that good stuff.
Ew,
Right?
All
that's
that.
my
Producer.
best friend.
All that.
That's one of your gifts.
One of
Just
many.
one.
Yeah, there
One
you
of
go.
many.
That's one of many.
High five on
Right?
that.
That's
By
one
the
of
way,
many.
I'm one of a kind. You can never find another me.
Hey,
That is true.
You
vouch to that.
You talking like a Virgo. That's what I'm talking about. August 20th. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the conversation. Tonight's topic is conversations with our youth.
Yeah.
So let's bring this in. Let's talk about the book.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about meeting the authentic
By
you.
the way, get yourself a copy.
Please do. Like, if you're not gonna read it, like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
what book are
You're
you reading?
missing out on some juiciness.
Right.
Like, you need
Juicy
to get
Juiciness.
I love
Okay.
it. That's cool. I love it.
I take it. You know, they're privy to their own interpretation.
No,
right?
that's fine. I love their
So,
language. Let's
all
go.
right.
Let's
So
start with
let's
Edith.
really get into.
Let's start with Edith.
You want to start with either? So
Which inspiration stood out to you, and what part of it stood out to you and why? What's the name of the inspiration inside of the book so somebody who's watching you can actually go to the inspiration and they can read along if they get or when they get the book so they understand why it touched you?
You Are Still Here. That one, You Are Still Here. That one, man, that spoke to me. Like, I was like, they read my, like, they wrote my story. And, like, one.
Can you read a piece of it that inspired you and tell me why it touched you or touched your personal situation to let the listeners know?
Okay. At the bottom it says, instead of looking at your mistakes, pitfalls, hiccups, and defeats, look at how far you have come. Focus on the progress you have made. You are not the same person you were before.
Okay, so follow up. So I know you from about 2-3 years now, right?
Yes.
So in reading that, can you look back in your 7th grade, 6th grade year, whatever the case is, of any mistakes and pitfalls, hiccups you may have had, and looking at where you were then and where you are now, what can you say about that? How does that?
I was gonna say consistency. That was probably one of my biggest mistakes.
Say it again.
Consistency. Not being consistent with like a lot of things, and that's one of the things I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, girl, go be consistent on that grade. That test. Oh, you didn't go look to like go ask the teacher like what you could do. Go do that.
So, being that was then, and now this. It says, focus on the progress you have made. You are not the same person you were before. So looking at yourself now and what you have accomplished going into the 8th grade, how do you see yourself now? Have you worked on that consistency piece?
Yes.
And tell us how you did that.
Like being consistent with a lot of stuff. Like being consistent with a lot of stuff. Like
So what did you change?
like grades. Like when I saw myself, not doing the best that I know I could do, I had to make sure, I knew I had to go ask the teacher for my, stuff that I could do better to better myself. Not for anybody else, but just for my well-being.
In your grades.
And my grades, yes.
That's good.
Dwayne, she said something with consistency. How many adults? Look, I raised my hand. Like, consistency is the key. And so many of us suffer or have. I know for myself.
It's so.
I have issues with consistency.
It's so powerful because we were just having a conversation last week talking about briefly. We didn't we didn't go in depth about it, but we talked about what you actually said was, Dwayne, you actually have this ability to be consistent.
I did say
right?
that. Yeah,
and
I
how
did say that.
and how that's been a struggle
with the
for
videos.
you. Yeah. So
Right.
I love what Edith just actually talked about and being able to highlight that area of struggle for her at one particular time and how she's now experiencing the rewards, the benefits that come with being consistent, but actually also being able to identify the struggle of, and then the not so good no benefits actually, the consequences of when you aren't consistent. Right. So I love the fact that she's actually able to make the difference. She sees it at this early stage of her life. How phenomenal that is. So to your point with how many adults who wish they can be even aware at 14 of the power of being consistent and where you can take your life when you become consistent. So thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome. You being aware and you be able to self-identify.
Yeah.
Because you can't fix anything that you can't identify first. That you don't know anything about. So kudos to you, man, because you have came a long way.
Yeah.
Right.
Round of applause for
Round
Edith.
of applause for
Yeah.
That's my best
Love
friend.
it.
That's
my best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Let's go. My new best birthday friend. What's up, Destiny? What's up? Yeah. There we go. What part of the book stood out for you? What inspiration did it for you? And what part do you want to share with the listeners and the callers tonight?
In the book, meeting the
Authentic. Don't worry, I got your back.
Thank you. I picked the chapter Embrace Your Singleness. I chose this because in my 7th grade year,
Stay focused.
yeah,
Sorry.
I thought about a lot of boys, and that really distracted me from my focus on my
Messed
work.
up a lot of relationship with
Yeah.
other people.
So yeah, a sentence or a few that I wanted to say was, It's important to consider why God has you in a place of singleness at this time. You may see couples together seemingly enjoying one another. However, do we really know what goes on behind closed doors when they are home and no one is around to judge and or criticize the relationship? We need to be mindful of what we pray and ask God for. We do not know what tests and trials she may be experiencing to get to the happy place you see.
I should have picked that one.
Right. I should have picked that one. That's good.
So
No, whoa. Let's stay focused. Tell us why you picked it. I know you said the struggle before and why it's but now give us some reflection.
Okay, so yeah, I chose this chapter because there's been I chose to do the wrong instead of the right. There's been situations where I would I don't know how to say it, I would do something and I know I should have never done it. I've been in the wrong before, even with family. There's been situations where a boy and likes another boy and it's crazy.
Too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Overwhelming.
Oh yeah, it's overwhelming, and it's just first of all, I should have been on my education
From
and
the
waited
jump.
till in the future where God gave me someone who I would trust, love, and
Be loyal
to
to.
them. Yeah.
And be loyal to you back.
Yeah.
Remember.
Do not be loyal to somebody if they're not loyal to you.
Yes.
And if
Matter
I
of fact, just put them
yes.
in the trash. You know that Spanish song, Te boté.
But yeah. So,
So I love
had a
your
question.
contribution, right, to this conversation, because you too have been able to identify, like Edith, where you went kind of wrong. And now you have evolved, right, while reading this particular inspiration, and it has helped you identify, and make a connection that I need to be more focused and concerned with my education. Right, Destiny? Right? Yeah. I need to be more concerned with my education. That is something that I need to not allow to distract me while I'm in school. That's something at a later stage in my life that I know and I believe that, God at some point will, release into my life. But that's not now. So even though some of my peers may be, making this look like it's acceptable and cool and something that I should do because I'm single and I need to embrace my singleness, but I'm really not single because I'm really just a young woman at the age of 13 who's learning how to focus more on school instead of being with somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Education is the key to success as well.
It's one of the keys to
Yeah,
success.
one of the keys.
Right? It's one of the keys. So this inspirational now has reminded you of what we need to really stay focused on.
Yes, education.
That's great.
Especially.
That's great. Because what we don't want to do is have, whoever it is who's loving you, who's supporting you, who's providing for you, disappointed in you because you're kind of not giving them a return on their investment.
You know what, too? Let me chime in. You don't want to be disappointed in yourself.
That's
Yes.
good.
Because the thing is, now let's take it to school, right? We see a lot of people who are distracted, or a lot of our peers who are distracted by relationships they're in, right? And we see what happens, right? Grades go down, or they get left back a couple of times, right? So the thing is that, not only that we don't want to disappoint our parents, our teachers, you don't want to disappoint you.
Right.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it all falls back on you. And the reason why one of the reasons I feel that right now you need to be focusing on your education. There's too many distractions out there.
And
I-
yourself, like
That's
self-love.
good. That's
Before-
good, Edith.
I feel like some people they try to you want to love somebody before you love yourself. How do you know what love is if you don't know how to love yourself?
Wait, say that again.
Pray
How
that.
do you know what love is if you don't know how to love yourself?
See, and the thing is,
And
Yeah,
some
go ahead.
people feel like being single is I want to be in a no, when you get to be single, you get to learn more about yourself. And I feel like when you're single and learning more about yourself is the best thing. I'd rather learn about myself all day than worry about somebody else and what they're doing, who they're talking to, where they're
ahead.
at, all that extraness, I'd rather worry about me.
You know what? And the thing is, we have crews, and even our listeners, you might be saying to yourself, how do they know about singleness? Or why did she pick embrace your singleness? Or how do they know about dating or whatever case is? Let me tell you, parents, let me tell you, teachers, they are dating in middle school. I'm a middle school teacher.
Hold on, Miss Bill.
And this is not the half of the stuff that we hear. But the fact that I have students here saying, the fact that we have students that are aware that self-love is the key,
That's dope.
is great.
That's dope.
How can I love somebody when I don't even love myself?
That's dope.
Or don't
I'm
know what
loving
love is.
I don't even, you don't even know
Yes.
what love is. Not, and this is the conversations that need to be had because we think our kids are not dating.
And being okay.
And they start in
with
the
that.
6th grade.
Hold on, Miss Smith, but
And-
we dated, but we barely even know the first thing about dating.
We don't know
Because
what
it's
love
like,
is.
I know for a fact my relationship don't be lasting. There's barely middle schoolers that even last with the relationship, and that's because we don't know anything. What we're supposed to be focusing on is education.
And
Can I
worrying
get
about
amen?
the wrong
Things.
Worry about the wrong things.
So I'm loving this dialogue, right?
Me
So
too.
I want to come down to you now, and I want you to read or you know, just communicate to us because I want to hear from all three of you guys on what part of the which inspiration in the book actually, you know, did something to you, how it impacted you is what I want to hear from you. So let's go. It's your turn.
Okay. There's a part in the book that is
Which
called-
inspiration? There you go.
Read
What
it.
inspiration?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. I'm sorry.
It's called When Being Vulnerable and Exposed Hurts. A part of that section. The section that.
Don't worry about it. Take your time.
Yeah, it's
A line of that section. What
Sentence in that paragraph.
yeah,
Go ahead.
inspired me was they might judge you and you may be left alone after taking the risk to share your feelings. I've been through a lot of things, through a lot of relationships. A lot of people have done me wrong. That's why I'm trying to learn to not tell people what I feel and how I feel about them, because at the end of the day, even if I tell them, they don't care about my feelings, and it hurts. It really hurts. I barely have people to talk to. The person I really talk to about all these situations, about relationships, is my best friend over there. You know, she gave me great advice. And, you know, sometimes it's just like how my best friend said, to be single, because it's just.
It's not a bad thing. It's not, honestly.
But if you're willing to take the risk to be somebody that you think you like and you think, quote unquote, you love, then go ahead. But just be mindful, you know, not to tell every little thing that's going on with you in your mind. Do not tell them, because it's just, you never know if it's going to last.
Okay, I want to read this part that you read again. You said they might judge you and you may be left alone after taking the risk to share your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important that we share our feelings? Why is it important that you share your feelings?
At first I thought.
In general, I'm talking, you could be to family members, your mom, teachers, or to any. Why is it important to for people to hear your voice?
It's according to who you want to say, like how you said family, friends. I would not personally not say it to my friends or anybody I'm with, because they don't give and they don't care. They just don't care about my feelings. And my family, they care. They take consideration about how I feel, and then, you know, they try to make me feel better and try to make it, you know, they put my feelings in consideration, not like others.
Wait,
Okay.
go ahead, Destiny. I can say you want to see something.
Oh, yeah,
I can see it.
I wanted to read something that's really important. So, it says when being vulnerable. Oh wait, what's that? It says,
Is that a different meditation that you're going to read from?
yeah.
All right, wait 1 second. I just want to stay on this real
Okay.
quick, and then we'll go back to you. But why is it important?
I don't.
Why is it important? That's the question. Why do you feel that somebody, whether they care or not, or consider it or not, why is it important, or why is it important that you voice how you feel? We're not talking about the other person, whether they care or not. Why is it important that you do that?
Because then you feel relief.
there's a relief.
Yeah.
So there's
You're not-
healing in that.
You're not attacking yourself of like it's a relief of you told and like you told your feelings and you're not punching yourself about who should I say this, should I not say this, but it's a relief. It's a good feeling.
And anyone can answer that question. Thank you so much, because that's what I want to get into. Because what happens when we hold these feelings, hold this stuff inside of us? What do teenagers usually do?
You feel too much feelings at one time, so then you start to, like I said, you feel too much feelings at one time. You don't know what to do with all these feelings. And now, let's say you have all these feelings, and maybe if you tell somebody, they have like some good advice they could tell you, and you never know what that person may say that may just change everything about what you were thinking about.
And you think about it that even as adults, when we hold feelings in and hold those feelings in, sometimes we go to destructive behavior, right? So that's what I'm saying. Teenagers, especially not knowing, who you are, or trying to find out who Edith is and who Destiny is and who Angelique is. You have to. It's important for us to be mindful that there needs to be an outlet, a positive outlet. So it's important that we share our feelings,
That's
whether
good,
people do not care or not. It's not about that other person. It's like what you said. It's a release.
That's good.
And it's relief, because we have teenagers that go to bed crying. We have teenagers that commit suicide when they bottle all this stuff up.
That's good.
Dwayne, you want to add anything?
Just again, I love our book because of the authenticity that we share in our experiences. So I know for myself that again, like I always share with people, that at 15, losing my dad, that was one of the roughest things, if not the roughest thing that I've experienced at 15 years old. It wasn't even so much about what I went through outside in the streets. It was me not knowing how to communicate how I felt about losing my dad. And as a result of it, I made some poor choices. I dropped out of school. I became, just this negative person. I had a lot of fights. I didn't want to listen to nobody. I did a lot of smoking, a lot of drinking, right? I just self-destructed from 15 years old all the way up to the age of 20. So for 5 years, I just self-destructed. All because I didn't know how to communicate, and I didn't feel like I had somebody to talk to. It doesn't mean that there was nobody there to talk to. I just shut down. So I love your question to Angelique, because it's good to understand why, you need to communicate what's going on. Not for the person, but for yourself. So for her to know at 13 that it's good to have a release, that I can release it and I don't have to beat myself up. Punch myself is what she said, right?
Yeah.
So that's healthy, because what she's saying, and hopefully what she will continue to do with her saying that she's been mistreated and done wrong, that she doesn't hurt herself emotionally, mentally, physically, right? And she can now use these conversations or this conversation as her strength to not make a horrible choice that she might regret for a long time of her life or for the rest of her life.
Right. I hope this conversation tonight is really blessing you, children, youth, adults, because for these young ladies to have this mindset of self-love and release.
Yeah.
A lot of us as adults
Don't have it.
We don't have it. We don't have that connection with our inner selves.
Yeah.
So this is really blessing me that you guys are being transparent and authentic, and that's what the book is about. Being an authentic you.
So let's go, Destiny. You got your part. What you want to read?
Yes.
Can we say the number real quick?
I've been dying.
Can you say the number real quick so they can call in?
914-969 and my XX 6499, and then Skype is 718-705-4959.
Hey.
Please call.
All right, let's go. Go ahead, Jess.
You want to interact.
Right.
Yes. So the chapter was The Chains Have Been Broken, Part 1. And this was really it was like when I used to have conversations with my sister, she used to tell me a lot about herself. And I felt like if she was watching this, then this would really help her. It says, relationships often become increasingly difficult to maintain because of past hurts, fears, pains, and chains. To experience the various dimensions of love, one must be willing to not only seek out a healthy and caring love, but also be willing to break our own chains to become vulnerable to trust and love again. So, if people had like past relationships where they haven't been treated right, or for example, like a lot nowadays, like people used to get raped in relationships, people used to get molested and stuff like that, and I don't think that like I know people would like be like they'll have fear to date again because of their past relationships, but I believe that if you seek God and like seek someone that's truly loving, and not at this age, but like when you're like Whitney and Dwayne, like you're trusting to become in another relationship with someone who treats you right.
Sorry.
That's too old.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that chapter because that was really important for me, and hopefully I could go back and tell my sister because she needs to read this, and if she don't, I will make her, because like you need to go buy this book.
I want to say that being vulnerable, I feel like it's probably it's so scary to me. Like I feel like being vulnerable is, I don't know, like being
it's
vulnerable.
A scary word.
Yes, being vulnerable is scary because it's like once you're vulnerable, you're probably willing to do a lot of things, and you you open yourself to somebody that you don't know what they're gonna do. Like at this point, you don't know. You probably like I don't know. Just being vulnerable in itself is such a scary thing.
Well,
especially at this age.
Let me speak to you guys about both sides of vulnerability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's scary when you're being vulnerable with the wrong people, right? When you're being vulnerable with the wrong person, those unfortunate outcomes happen, right?
But how do you know? Like,
yes.
Here's where I'm going. Here's where I'm going, right? So, Whitney and I talked about this in our last show, where we talked about the power of connection, right? So, the power of connection is in Whitney and I's vulnerability with one another. We've been able to create a book. We've been able to have a show. We've been able to pray with one another. And we're becoming better versions of ourselves. So if you're not becoming a better version of yourself in that vulnerability with somebody, then that's not the person you need to be vulnerable with. So when you ask that question, how do you know? This version of me, Dwayne, is only because I've been vulnerable with the right people.
Yeah, I got something.
If I would have continued to be vulnerable with the wrong people, I would have remained either in prison. I probably would have still been in the street selling drugs like I was. I would have continued to hurt people the way I was hurting people when I was being vulnerable and hurt with the wrong people. So that's how you know. You can begin to measure and monitor your growth. So if this version of Edith is that version 5 years from now, and there's here's the word that I used last week. There's no trajectory. There's no growth. There's no evolution, right? That means that you're being vulnerable maybe with the wrong people.
Oh, okay.
Because you're still the same Edith that you are at 14, at 19.
That's good.
Yes.
How did you change? Like, there's a lot of people who do the same that your past has done, and people don't know how to change.
Well, you said it in what you just read, and after what you read, you said, well, when you seek God.
Yes.
That's what you said, right? So for myself, when I honestly, not playing games to get out of trouble, seek God. When I honestly decided to seek God, I started to allow God to heal me of the hurt that I had from the periods when I was being transparent. So I had both sides. I had periods when I was transparent. I was vulnerable with people who I thought I could trust, who hurt me. But then I also been the person who people have been vulnerable with, and I hurt them. So when I started to really surrender and seek God, I started to evolve into this version of Dwayne.
Dwayne, you know what she said too, what she read in the meditation? She said willing. Remember,
Yes,
you kept
willing. I kept saying
willing,
that.
willing. She repeated it
That's good,
more
Whitney.
than once.
That's good.
So not only seeking God as you did, but
Yeah.
you were also willing to give God everything, willing to surrender.
Right.
You know,
Right.
surrender
Willing to
that.
do all you could to change the way.
Right.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
I just
very
got tired.
important.
I got tired of
You
living.
tired?
I got tired of living in the consequences.
I mean,
You know, I wanted to experience more rewards than consequences.
you're not gonna get nowhere in life doing drugs. Like, yeah, that's just not.
I mean, if you do drugs consistently, then you're not gonna get.
You're
I mean-
not getting anywhere at all if you do drugs one time.
Exactly.
That's the message.
I mean, a lot of people
Which-
do that because they have
Wait.
stress, but like stress, you could do yoga.
Wait,
Okay.
is drugs?
Can't do
No, that's
yoga.
good.
So
Destiny. That's good. That's good, Destiny.
I just love this
I
conversation.
do have a question though. Like, what type of drugs? You mean?
Marijuana.
You know what? It could be anything that's harmful to your body.
Exactly.
I mean, people drink alcohol excessively because they're using that to, get away from reality.
Or
You know?
could just drink it to get lit.
Or you're not gonna put your hand.
So let me say
any
this real.
destructive.
Let me say this real quick, Wick, because it seems like Angelique has this explorative spirit. She likes to explore. She likes to experiment,
Yes.
right?
Dora the Explorer.
And sometimes, and I can identify because I had the same spirit, right? I struggled in that same space because of the periods of being mistreated and wronged. So I had a period in my life where I normalized chaos and dysfunction. I normalized it. Doing wrong was normal. Failing was normal. Not trying to excel was normal. Not trying to achieve was normal. So as long as I was hanging around people who was doing drugs, drinking, smoking, dropouts, that was acceptable because they didn't hold me accountable. They didn't push me to excel. So, but I had to identify where that came from, opposed to me focusing on the fact that I was there. And I was there because I got hurt. And I didn't know what to do with my hurt, so I explored and experimented in the hurt. So I would raise the same question that Angelique just raised. Well, what kind of drugs shouldn't I do? No drugs.
None of them.
Right?
Can I get a net?
Right? So, but I understand the reason for the question.
I get it. I mean, even thinking about my situation growing up in high school and everything, I was really angry because I was lonely. Even though I had two parents in the home, I had brothers, they were in college. I was really lonely and I was really angry. And I had to confide in my friends. The friends around me taught me how to deal with relationships, taught me how to deal with life. And I experimented with drugs. I guess you want to say I was drinking alcohol. I was drinking 40 ounces. I was smoking and all that stuff because that's the only. But the thing is that. But the thing is, when we talked about our feelings,
Right.
and keeping our feelings inside and not sharing our feelings and how we feel, if the person doesn't care or not, I kept all those feelings in because I was angry. I was angry. So what did I do? Destructive. I just try to destroy myself. Huh?
That's what we talking about earlier.
And that's what we talked about earlier. And I understand as getting older, even what I want you guys to understand, which your understanding is that you can't keep those feelings inside of you. There has to be an outlet. There has to be a positive outlet, whether it's journaling, whether it's your best friend that is going to help you through that process. But the drug, you just don't want to self-destruct. And some people do that.
Not only the drugs part with, because that's important as well, but the focus of.
You know what?
I
got something to say.
I'm gonna let you go. But the focus of evolving into greater versions of ourselves.
Yes.
I think that's what really resonates for not just us, but for them as well. And something that we can drop on them or drop into their spirits, that they can take this conversation with them, that you want to make sure that you're constantly evolving into a greater version of yourself. That's what you want to do. You're going to experience different challenges. You're going to explore and experiment with different things like we have. that you're going to realize, no, I don't need to do that. Maybe I tried that, but that's not what I need to do. So the common, the safe ground, right? The healthy ground, the spiritual ground that we want to encourage them to secure is make sure you're becoming a greater version of yourself.
And I also want to say, not even the drugs. What I found myself destroying myself was into people. I put relationships with boys.
Applause
And
for
that's
that.
no. It wasn't and it wasn't all about the drugs. I put honestly, because of my feelings and because of where I was, because I was angry, I tried to find love in all the wrong places. I tried to not, find a company in all the wrong places.
That's good, Whit.
So like Dwayne said, the safe place is to be. If you're not becoming a better version of who you are, yourself, evolving, seeing something different, positive, you're not fruit is not being
You're not bearing fruit.
You're not bearing
fruit.
You're
There
not
you go.
bearing
There you go.
You're not bearing fruit. Then you have to assess that relationship or assess that friendship. But you have to make sure that you have the right people and the right connections around you. And I have to applaud you. Can we get some applause, please?
Shout out to y'all, man.
Because of where you guys are. in
Like the level
conversation.
of maturity that you guys communicated tonight was just amazing, man. So,
Amazing.
With-
Amazing.
with that said, I want to go into, I want to say this before we go into the final part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. No, let me say it this way. With the hurts that you guys have experienced and will continue to experience, because we're dealing with people
In life.
people will hurt you and let you down and disappoint you. Here's what I want to say to you guys as a segue to go into what we're going to close with. It's okay to let some people go. You don't have to hold on to people who you thought you was going to go to the end with, who you thought you was going to go to the top with. It's okay, because here's the thing. Everybody that you are currently with and that you will meet along the journey will not always share the same values that you guys will have.
Right.
So if you value leveling up, being, a super duper dope version of yourself, where you're experiencing more rewards than consequences, you're experiencing more joy than sadness, you're living in victory more than you're living or existing in defeat, there's going to be some people who you're going to meet and develop some kind of association, attachment, or maybe even relationship with, who at some point they will drop out on themselves. They will drop out. They lose the fight to go forward. You're not responsible to make them keep fighting. You can try. But what I want to encourage you to be mindful of tonight, as we get into the later part of it, it's okay to let go of some people who don't value what you value, so you can continue to become the better version of yourself.
Always remember that self-love you talked about.
Yes, it's the best love and how. Yes.
So what are you excited about that Dwayne and I have coming
That
this
new book.
year?
The new book.
Right.
The new
Damn.
book. The new book.
What's the name of it? Yeah, what's the name of it? Don't what?
Don't doubt yourself.
Don't doubt. No.
Wait.
It's dropped some.
Don't say it. Do not.
You got it,
say
Edith? Well, let me say it for you guys. Don't drop out on you.
Don't drop out
on
on you.
Drop out on you.
There you go.
Can somebody tell me one thing, or each of you can contribute? Why are you excited about the new book, Don't Drop
Okay.
Out on You? Go ahead, Destiny.
Because Destiny.
She's ready.
Destiny's on the mic. I'm excited about this new book because, even the title makes it spicy. Like, you already know what it's gonna be about. Like, once you hear that title, you'll be like, "Oh my God, I need to get this book before it just sold out." Like, come on now. You need to, once that drop out, you need to get it, because I feel like it will inspire many people to do stuff like this. And to add on, I want to say they both have past, but look where they're at now. So
Yeah, Destiny, thank you. How far are you?
Anyway.
August 25th in the building.
Oh, please.
Edith.
Don't hate. Let us celebrate. Don't hate. Let us celebrate. Come on.
Celebrate.
Edith.
Don't. Oh,
Don't Drop Out on You. Any any
okay.
the reason why you're excited?
Oh, I was about to say.
Wait,
Okay.
am I doing?
Oh,
So
me.
why are you excited about Don't Drop Out
I'm
on You?
excited because basically, right? If meeting the authentic you was already like, it was banging, it was spicy, it was juicy. Imagine the next book.
Aren't
Imagine
spicy
it.
and juicy,
Imagine the next book. It's
I
gonna
think
be
I'm
like
catching the Holy
meeting the
Spirit.
authentic you times, like, point to the 15,000 power. Like, it's gonna be
Thank you, I
too
love it.
spicy.
And watch the next
Angelise.
one.
I'm excited because the title is just. I already feel like I'm about to be inspired with this book because I have really a lot of times doubted myself. So like I feel like this book is gonna make me
Stay focused. Stay focused.
this book is gonna make me bring myself up,
Level up.
and not doubt myself. Yeah.
You know what? And I'm excited about this Don't Drop Out on You book that's coming out from Dwayne and I, because we have a lot of activities, I would say, in this book that's going to help you, walk you through. You're going to have to, it's going to be on you to help you not drop out on you as well, right? So you're going to have to do some work. And we talk about a lot in this book. We're very transparent in this book, too. And it's for all ages, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, it is.
Not
Youth,
just for...
young adults.
Get your 1 month baby to read this book.
Get your newborn baby, because they're going to grow up to be a beautiful, mature, dream values person.
But this is something that everyone can learn from, and everyone can actually take with them into the new realm. You want new glory, new realm. You cannot drop out on you. And that's also going to have you reevaluate your circles and the people that you are taking this journey with in life.
So let me give some personal testimony right there, where I shared it in Meeting Authentic You, and I'm always going to be open and transparent because I never want somebody to be under this notion, right, that these conversations and this inspiration, this motivation is like a walk in the park, right? The reality is it's not a walk through the park, right? And life has thrown me so many different challenges that made sense to drop out on myself when it was thrown at me. It made sense to drop out of school when I lost my dad. It made sense to let go of myself when I lost my mom, right? These things hurt, right? Relationships fail, friendships falling apart, things just not coming together, things taking too long to happen, right? And it just seems like it gets worse before it gets better, if it even gets better. So Don't Drop Out on You, that title that we, was blessed by God to come up with to inspire people. And then you bring in context. You bring in our personal experiences, right? So this book I'm inspired about because what we're doing is we're helping people bring this inspiration and this motivation and this transformation into context that nowadays is unfortunately just not there. Everything nowadays is just like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and short attention spans.
They're going to see this is not walk in the park for you and I. They're going to definitely see it when they read this book.
So I'm excited about it. I'm excited that the youth are excited about it. Angelise, Destiny, and Edith is excited about it.
I am.
We got so many more conversations with so many more youth.
Yes, we do.
That we're going to be bringing to the people about our next book, along with Meeting Authentic You. So
we're going on tour.
Yeah.
We're going on tour.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I'm going to be here every day if I can.
We're going on tour with the Don't Drop Out on You book. We're talking to teens around the country. We're talking to teens.
Yeah.
So, and we're talking to not just teens. We're talking to everybody about this
teens,
book.
parents,
Teens,
it doesn't
parents,
matter.
It doesn't matter. If you're a human being living, we're talking to you.
Don't drop out on you.
Don't drop out on you.
I'm an alien.
I'm about to.
I see.
That's going to be about to.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
About to preach.
So let me say this, because we got people who tune into us on to our YouTube page. Follow us on our YouTube page,
YouTube,
right?
Please subscribe.
Convos with Whitney and Dwayne. Our podcast show is on YouTube. If you missed this episode, make sure you tune into us on YouTube.
And SoundCloud.
Follow us on check us out on SoundCloud, and check us out on our Instagram page and our Meeting Authentic You page on Facebook, right? We're uploading all of this content onto those social media outlets to make sure that you are tuned in and that you rocking and vibing with us, right? So we're going to be If you want us to come to your city,
We want to come to your school.
if you want us to come to your school, you want us to come to your college, you want us to
Church.
come to your community center, you want us to come to your church, you want us to come to your correctional facility, your detention center, wherever you want us to come to have a conversation where we can speak to whoever it is that you are currently trying your best to get through to, we want to bring our book to where you are. We don't care where you at. Another country, another city, another state, wherever, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island,
Man,
wherever
they're
you
coming
at,
to London.
we want to make sure that we are bringing this
Overseas,
energy,
let's
these
do it.
conversations to inspire your youth, your children, your parents, your family. It doesn't matter who they are, because we can't drop out on ourselves.
That's right. So with that being said, it's time for us to close.
That went by too
Okay.
fast.
So we just want to
Too
thank you guys for
fast.
tuning in. Thank
little
you
too
to
fast,
our
my
guests.
Let's
We
give them a round of
appreciate
applause,
you.
Cruz.
Give them a round of applause.
Hey.
God bless our community. God bless our family. God bless our kids, our youth. Protect us. Keep them from hurt. Thank you for keeping them from hurt, harm, and danger. We out. Amen.
Amen.
All right. See y'all next Thursday.
I'm on TV.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We jamming. Hell yeah, we jamming. In the mix.